Hey guys, welcome back to another Super Fools podcast. We have the Sisay I'm leaving it all
Restart. Run it back. Run it
in. Run it
back.
back. No, I leave it in. I don't care. We have the
Fuck
best
it.
Sisay pilot. I don't care what you say. We got my man Tolaria East. What's up, man? How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Full of steak, ready for bed, but we're here for this.
Hey, man. I'm here and then I go down. I don't care. I'm leaving it all in. I'm not editing anything. Just don't finger bang your grandma. We're cool.
No, I won't do my monitor again. I promise. Oh my god.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be a good pod. All right, guys.
Absolutely.
So the rundown, Sisay what like happened. We're gonna do a whole total deck tech on her, like in tournament play, because a lot of my people from LGS are like, "Oh, this commander's busted, and how do you do this and how do you do that?" I'm like, I'm about to do a podcast with the guy, right?
It's me,
So
Mario.
you.
My name is
And
not Mario. Nintendo, please don't, please.
you know Mario's last name is Mario.
Yeah, double Mario, Mario.
Luigi Mario too. Yeah,
Oh, oh.
I know.
Can't just be Luigi. I guess they're brothers. No, they have to have the same. All right, enough of that. I brought Giant Sisay.
We got Giant Sisay. It's right
Giant
there.
Sisay. My judge friend gave me that for for winning SCG earlier this year. Last year.
That's gonna be his Valentine's date, guys. He's gonna put that.
Oh
right
yeah,
at the
bro. I'm
tip.
taking her all over town. A movie, a dinner, a little massage. We won't talk about the massage.
Later at the end, you gotta flip it around. It's the most
Oh
random card.
yeah, no one knows. No one knows until it's me. Everyone will know once it's me.
Okay, yeah, they'll know for you. Yeah,
True.
for sure.
All right, so let's get into it, Papa. Talk to me.
All right, let's get into it. So, kind of before we play with the baby girls, Sisay, kind of when'd you get into Magic? I love asking people like their sets, and then how'd you get into CDH?
So that's actually very fun. I'm 28. I've been playing for 20 years. My brother tricked me. My brother tricked me into the card game back when I was 8 years old. So, it was Mirrodin. It just came out, Fifth Dawn of Mirrodin. And my brother was like, "Hey, you want to help me sort some cards?" I'm like, "I don't know what that means, but I love correlator sorting." Like the little OCD tick already started working.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fun. It was a good time. And then he's like, "Oh, you seem to like understand like the CMC of things, the mechanics. Why don't you play a deck? Here's Affinity." So he handed me standard Affinity, and I played that for a long time. My brother, like I said, my brother got me into it when I was really young. He eventually went off to the military, so I kind of put the deck down. Didn't have anyone to play with. There was a modern resurgence when I was in high school, and I found a couple of my friends were like, "Hey, we're all getting into it. Why don't you play with us?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I did a little bit of tournament grinding. Was having a good time. Mox Opal eventually got banned, so I fell off of modern. But while I was still in high school, those same friends rediscovered, or I should say, discovered this new format called Commander. And I'm like, "What the shit is that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a singleton format. You all know what EDH is." Now I'm just like, "Oh, screw it. Sounds fun. Plus it has 4 people in it, so no one feels left out." And fast forward a few more years, I got to college, still playing Magic. I was playing. This is when CDH started to like actually get into it. It was like I want to say 2014, 2015 is when like competitive, because it was just people trying to win as fast as possible. I was playing Captain Sisay, the OG green white girl. Yeah. And it was Paradox Sisay, of course, because Paradox Engine was absolutely busted. There was so many things to do with her. As time went on, I went to MagicCon or Grand Prix. That's what they used to be called, GPs. GP Vegas back in like I think it was 2016 or 2017, and it was the first ever CEDH tournament. That it wasn't like labeled as CEDH. It was more like a best commander standing kind of thing. They didn't have a name for it just yet. But I wound up making top 16 with Paradox Sisay. I got blown out in the top 16 though. It's gonna happen. But I remember it was one of the things that like locked me in for loving CEDH was sitting down with, and this is me talking shit now, Cassius Marsh, the football player. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that name right. I sat down with him during one of the later rounds, and I blew him out on turn 2. And that man was pissed. That man had a fully foiled out to the 9 hot Tassiger deck. I remember the beauty in the eyes, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool deck, dude. Paradox Engine, blah, Chroma's Memorial, all my creatures die." And he's like,
I
starts shoving all of his cards into like a knapsack, not even sleeving, like not even like putting them in the deck box and then that, just shoves it in the bag. And I'm
This
just like,
$5,000 foil Japanese grid
oh,
monolith.
oh my god, dude, it was disgusting, disgusting. So, that was like one of the defining moments for me as far as like loving CDH, realizing that even because to me, I always thought Captain Sisay was a little janky, because
Mm,
like green white, listen, we get blown out by all the board wipes, you get blown out by all the counter spells. So for me to actually have gotten that far, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Fast forward a few years, Paradox Engine got banned. And I kind of had like a whole year of like trying to figure out what my next commander was. I was playing Yisan. I played Green White Selvala. It was I played
mm.
four color Atraxa, or like the OG one where it was like just
To
all store
proliferate.
legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But uh fast forward, my friend suggested me we go to an LGS called The Basement. It's a place in Brooklyn. Still kicking. And when I go there, I meet the current friend of mine, Malcolm, also known as Vice.
Mm,
Me and him are in the Sisay Discord, where he's Papa as far as the Sisay goes, and he showed me this combo, and was like, "Yo, you like legendaries?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I love legendaries." He's like, "You like planeswalkers?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I love planeswalkers." And he shows me this combo, which is still used to this day, which is Aminato, Nico Bolas, the Dragon God, and Oath of Teferi. The
mm,
combination of these three cards, for everyone who doesn't know, is infinite Planeswalker activations, infinite untaps, infinite mana. Like it's infinite everything you could pretty much want to win the game.
mm.
And I'm looking at this, I'm like, that's some janky shit. I love that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I sleeved up the deck. He showed me his list. I kind of split off eventually. And I think at this point it was like 2018, 2019. And then, COVID happened. There was a lot of online tournaments. People started getting to it. And then when COVID started to break, I started grinding Magic like crazy. She's still my favorite girl. Green. She's not green white anymore. She got the whole Wooburg on her,
Mm.
and I've just been refining the list, topping where I could. I know we talked about it before where she went from being like a no one, like she was a nobody commander,
She's
to
French.
she was fringe. She was very fringe at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
and then pre-Dockside ban, she between me and a lot of the top Sisay players, we got her into the
Ian,
top three. She
Malcolm. Yeah.
honestly, uh, I would say she's number one, but TNK and Rogside were pretty fucking crazy. I can't say they weren't.
Yeah.
But we were able to keep up with the titans of the
Right.
format,
Right.
and yeah, yeah, no, she's just the best girl. And then as far as now post ban, she's still kicking, dude. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Sisay's dead. She's garbage now." I've done
Mm-mm.
a few of these podcasts. I've done a few of these interviews. They are so mistaken if people think Sisay is dead. She has to rework some tools. She has some new bits that she has to figure out. She's in therapy. She's figuring it out. But we got her, and we're
Yeah.
doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah, when the ban happened, three decks I thought of, I was like, buy Corvold, buy
Oh yeah.
Kenrith, buy
Yep.
Sisay. God, was
Kenrith.
I wrong?
Ah,
Sisay.
Corvold for sure. It's unfortunate because Corvold, like it, what's the man? Eric Taylor. He's like
Yeah.
the Corvold guy.
I've had him on my
He
pod. He's dope as fuck.
perfect. I love him. He's
He's
one of the
cool as
nicest
hell.
guys I've met.
Hmm.
And I was like, so how do you feel about it? And he's like, honestly, I don't give a shit. I'm still gonna play my guy. And that was one of like another defining moment for my brain, being like, wait. Even the guy whose deck got bodied way more than I didn't
Hmm.
give a flying hell about the ban. Why should I? What is it? We adapt, we overcome, we make we make do with what we have.
And
And I
then
think
and
I
then
think Sisay is doing damn good.
Vitality put his dick on the
Oh my
table.
God. Thank you,
Thank
Duskmorn, for
you,
giving us
thank you,
Enduring
Sisay gods.
Vitality,
Yeah.
Marvin. Dockside, look, Dockside was a nice one card win con for us because we could just go up the flying chain with it.
Hmm.
But Marvin and Enduring Vitality absolutely saved the deck for us. Absolutely.
Holy shit! Like, was that
I
like 3 weeks later after the ban that come out? And I was like,
oh yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I that was I think yeah, a couple weeks after the banning was Festival of Nights 2 for me over at Sword and Stone. And a lot of my friends are like, "Ooh, are you even gonna go? Don't you know Sisay's dead?" And I know Max P was giving me shit too, being like,
Oh,
"Ooh,
was
you
he?
sure, buddy? You
That's my
might want to
guy.
play a better deck." Oh, dude, I love Max,
Oh, that's
but
my
it was
guy.
so funny because pre-tournament he was giving me shit. He was like, "Oh, dude, you shouldn't play that trash. We got to get you on a better deck." And I was like, "Okay, Max, sure." And then I saw him in top 4, and I'm like,
Didn't you win that
so
tournament?
you still think it's true? No, he won it. He won it by
Oh,
the hairs. He was
uh,
able to work with Gold Saber, passing back and forth a Wishclaw talisman to get either of their deadly relics to put me out of it. There was a Nanala player that already got snuffed, and unfortunately they're a turbo deck. Once they get snuffed, they're snuffed. But for them, they saw that if I untapped even one time with what I had on my field, they knew it was over. They're intelligent players. They know what Sisay can do,
hmm
and they were just passing on the Switch Claw just to remove my shit. And then it got to my turn, and I was like, all right, I actually think I can do it, even though I just got rollicked.
hmm
And Max goes silence. Not like, ah, shit. All right, fair enough. I'll just pass turn. I'll keep up some mana. And they're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna win on top of you with a Valley Flood Caller combo. And I was like, okay. New combos for post ban Dockside. Jesus. Okay. Shake hand. Shake hand. That shit was very hot, very hot. But
That's
I
cool.
crushed that tournament. I went undefeated the whole day. I think I took 2 draws, 3 wins, won my top 16, and then made top 4.
Yeah, lost top four. You can't. Your only loss is top four. Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll take that. I'll take that.
yeah.
I
What
was
the
ranked one
fuck?
for the whole day. Take it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So,
But that's the most notable thing.
mhm.
Obviously, I've topped and killed it for like some local tournaments, some other things I've traveled to. It's not bad, man. Sisay's listen. She got her knees blown out, but we have the technology. We're fixing her from the ground up.
Yeah, we're talking about that off air. I feel like Sisay is one of those decks now. We figured out the Planeswalkers line. I
Yep.
don't know what could be banned for Sisay to go back down because she's so versatile. She's so
Yep.
resilient. Like,
And she plays bulk rares. A lot
right,
of the cards that
right.
we win with her, I think the most expensive Planeswalker is Diata because she's like $10 for some
If
reason.
that. Yeah, it's like the dual lands, but everything else
Oh
is
yeah.
yeah, everything else is fine.
Yep.
Like
I
Mana Crypt, Jewel Lotus, and Dockside. Fuck the
It was
deck
like,
up, but you're
yeah, like
fine.
JLo was good because obviously an early Sisay is fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that, or a free Sisay for that matter.
hmm
Mana Crypt, we just got Cauldron, so Mana Crypt we were actually able to abuse pretty well.
Yeah.
But it was definitely Dockside, definitely Dockside. Like we can live without JLo and Mana Crypt, but Dockside definitely hurt our kneecaps a bit.
Yeah, I think you said about
Absolutely.
15 cards changed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I pulled up a comparison because we were talking about it, and
hmm
yeah, 15 cards, a lot of blue cards, a lot of green cards, interesting tutors. A lot of things were just for Dockside, like Rocco, Eladamri's Call, Neoform, Wishclaw, Dockside. Everything that could find Dockside was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it was the most thing. It was the most thing,
I
and we
got
wound
you.
up, yeah.
Well, let's just jump
But
right into it. Before
sure,
before
yeah.
I look at the deck, let's jump right into it. Like, why is she so good now, and how did she pivot? Like, what is the
So
deck trying to do now?
I think the most important thing that Sisay did before the ban was just explode out of nowhere, right? We
hmm
we pulled out, we turned up Birds of Paradise, we neoformed it into a dockside. We just have had very explosive starts.
hmm
I remember for the Invitational, I turned to the table because I got a dockside out with Saheeli Rai in hand, already had a
Oof.
Sisay out, and I just went blah 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 blah, and they're just like, oh, and I'm like, all right, cool. Shake my hand. Rock sign Tivit, eat peen, boys. Uh, but that was pre-ban. Where
Yeah,
she
we're
was
not
just
doing that no
very,
more.
no, no, can't do it no more. Now it's me who's eating the peen. We like the thing about Sisay before was that we had some good resilience. We could still win out of nowhere. But the point that Dockside made was just it made it so explosive and quickly to win. Like we could win on turn
Mhm.
2, turn 3 without issue. Nowadays, we're doing a little more reinforcing. I think that's a good way to put it. Where the point of the deck is just to be continuously resilient. We have a lot of cards, like Enduring Vitality we spoke of. I'm playing cards like Skrelv just to make sure there's some early game protection. I'm playing all the fast mana that I can, even Mox Opal, which I get some shit for. But listen, I played Affinity when it was in Modern. I gotta press my
It
Opal
got
where I can.
unbanned in modern.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, on a side note,
Holy
dude, hold on, hold
shit!
on. Hold that number because I blew my mind. So, Mox Opal, I played
Let's see.
Affinity.
Let's
It
see.
was my favorite card. I have
Oh
one of
my!
each possible Mox Opal, and they're not going anywhere. They're not
I was
going
gonna
anywhere.
say trade me one. Fuck.
I got other Mox Opals for people. That's mine. I'm gonna hang that up when I get a house. Which don't please people don't roast me. I'm in between houses right now. My shit burned down. But dude, my Mox Opal collection. I saw that and I was like, oh. That's a couple grand now.
Yeah, do you see what they're going for
Huh.
now?
Oh, trust me, I do, dude. I buy and sell magic cards, man. That's my whole shtick.
Whew. That's
I
actually how I
couldn't
met
believe.
you.
I know, that's right. I met you over
Side note,
the Discord, the marketplace,
I think we've
and
done 3 or 4 sales and I've never had any
at
issues.
least.
And then someone told
No,
me,
no.
hit up Tolaria East. He's a good Sisay pilot. And I was like, I looked at our DMs. I was like, I fucking know this guy. I give this guy my money. What are you talking about?
I
It's a
take your
small
money on
world.
paper and I take your money through the Discord.
Yeah, yeah. That's
No,
so
no, but
funny.
to bring it back, yeah, Sisay is just trying to be as resilient as possible these days. I make this joke a lot. One of the things that I always said before the ban was, if Dockside, I guess when Dockside gets banned, I will immediately slot in Diata, which is
Mm,
the Mardu chick that has a neg 3 that can gives you at least 4 treasures
mhm,
typically,
mhm.
and Orrery, Chromatic Orrery. I say this pretty often. Orrery is just 7 mana Dockside. It performs the same role. If we
You
get
get
it
that
out,
down, you win. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
If it comes down, the game's over. And
Mhm,
that's really it now. I'm playing way more counterspells. I always got a little bit of shit for playing as many counterspells as I did before the ban, but
mhm,
even post ban, I cranked up all the interaction I can. I'm playing Pact for God's sakes. I
mm.
can't tell you how many arguments I've had with people about Pact being bad. Don't play it. It's shitty. But now it's like we kind of have to win on our turn almost exclusively,
Mhm.
and a free counterspell's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Before I'm
It's
gonna
pretty
pop
good.
the deck list up on the screen
Oh
in a
yeah,
minute.
feel free.
But I wanna I gotta side tangent a Sisay, right?
No, give it to me. Give it to me.
I have 2 funny Sisay stories. Well, one, my
Ooh.
brother's he's a big, this is pre-ban, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, sure,
But it's
sure. Nah,
awesome.
nah.
It's my podcast. I don't care.
Hit it
So
up.
he loves the big mana Atraxa, right? He
Yeah.
loves
Oh
that
my God,
deck.
I love Grand Unifier, dude. One of my
That's his baby
favorite decks
girl,
on
right?
Arena. Right,
So
right.
so we go to this 40 person tournament and he's like, I just want red. Like, fuck, man, I love Atraxa, but I just want red.
I just
And
need the red man.
we're talking about Blue Farm, we're talking about Rocksai, and I was like,
Yep.
well, what about Sisay? So he literally blew up Atraxa for Sisay just to play red. And then we realized Sisay's fucking busted. He was winning
Sisay's a little
everything.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That was like my come to Jesus Sisay moment. And then mine, I was in a tournament, right? It was a win in it, or no, it's like round 4. It was like a random
Oh, sure,
crucial.
sure.
You want to win, you don't want to draw or lose this
Oh,
one.
of course,
So
yeah.
I'm playing Tevish Crom, right? It's Tevish Crom, Sisay, random mono blue bullshit.
Oh God,
Sisay.
you're playing Fat Grixis? Oh God.
Yeah, that's my baby. I don't know if you noticed yet, but Tevish is
Ooh,
my.
that's hot. That's hot. Okay, okay.
So I'm winning, right? I'm doing my thing, and I have a
Mhm.
cursed totem out, slowing down the 2 Sisays, right? I'm untapping. I have Ristic Study. I'm winning, right?
Right.
So it's that guy's turn, the mono blue player. He plays a
Mm.
fucking pithing needle, and I was like, hell yeah, back up for fucking just in case they blow my cursed totem out, because the Sisay decks were like had all the creatures out, had everything out ready to go.
He said Tevesh, didn't he?
This motherfucker looks me in my eyes and goes, "Name Tevizat," and
No!
I was like, "What? You're kidding, right? Like you're joking?"
I thought we were friends.
He's like, "No, man, I don't want you to draw cards." And I was like, "I just drew 2 cards. Literally, both Sisays had birds, like 7 creatures each. They had the mana. Sisay was out. They were just biding their time." And I was like, "There's no fucking way." My instep, the next Sisay guy goes, blah blah blah, kill your cursed totem, win on my turn
Yep.
after he cast
Yep.
Pithing Needle.
Yep,
And I was
correct.
just like, fuck
Correct.
this deck, fuck this
Yep.
guy. I hate Sisay forever because she has that power of you have her held down, but if you blink, like
For even if you let up that
There was two
chokehold for 1 second, dude.
yeah, there's 2 Sisay
my God.
activations. So what he did was he removed the cursed totem, activated Sisay.
Yep.
Someone showed him something, an Oppo or something. So he responds. So the other
On top
Sisay
of it.
responds, and then
Yep.
he responds, and he wins without even the second activation resolving. And I was
Yep.
like, we're doing this on my fucking turn. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. And the blue guy looks at me and he's
Correct.
like, you don't have any counter spells? No, I have a cursed totem. Like, no, I don't have counter
Oh
spells.
my God. I don't wanna. I won't shit talk any blue players, but I've had some bad run-ins with some mono blue players.
Oh man,
Oh, Lord.
Sisay's just that strong, and that was
It is, and
that was
and
in the beginning of Sisay taking over, right? A year ago.
right. All right,
Oh,
yeah, because that 2024 was definitely a good year for Sisay, where there was a lot of wins. I remember Baneslayer won a big tournament in Europe.
mhm.
I won 2 SCGs very early in the year. I went up top fouring at Punt City 3.
I think
I've
Ian
won
won
a
a
bunch of.
couple.
Oh, dude, Ian
Malcolm.
Malcolm won. I don't know if Malcolm won any tournaments. I know he's always topped, and
Mm.
I love it, but I don't know
I
off the
feel
top of my
like
head.
he has,
He
but
probably has, right?
yeah.
Listen, he's the Papa Sisay. I have to give it to him.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ian is always Ian plays like a little bit of a weirder Sisay, and he did before the ban too. But it played well for him. So who am I to really say?
Hmm.
But yeah, I to add back to what you asked before about what makes Sisay so better now. I know I said like reinforcement, but another good word would be resilience,
Hmm.
where the longer the game goes on, the more inevitable we become. Because
Hmm.
we can win on turn 4 or 5, it's possible,
Hmm.
but the longer the game goes on, as we're gonna continue to make land drops. We're still gonna make mana sources. We're gonna get 2 spins just out of lands. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Even if
the
you
the
remove
long
her, right, you could just recast her and win right there with all the mana that she
exactly,
produces.
exactly. And that's just something I wanted to add in because I was thinking about it while we were talking. I was like, you know what? That's another good thing is like she's a very inevitable deck. If you like you said, if you don't
Yeah.
keep that foot down on her, if you don't continue to choke her down, she will come back and she will win.
Hmm.
She will.
See, for me, I always compare her to Kennen, but I feel like Kennen is always the threat when
Yeah,
it's winning, and they know they're the threat, but they hold everybody down because they have so much mana, right? So I feel like
correct. We're
Kennen.
very adjacent. We're very
But
adjacent.
Sisay's different though, where Sisay doesn't want to be the problem, is kind of chilling, and then because
Yep.
how,
We
how
like to
how
chill
many
in the background and be
how
like,
many times have
oh,
you been sitting on a Sisay activation and they have no idea, and then you just go in step, activate Sisay, untap,
yep,
upkeep,
yep,
activate Sisay, win the game, and they didn't know. They were like,
yep.
"Oh, I didn't know you could
I've
do
done a lot of
this."
end step to fairies and people being like, oh,
Uh
you
oh.
can do that.
Oh.
I'll respond with a counter spell. Sorry, sir. This puts permanent into play. I'll remove it. Sorry, sir. There's
Yeah.
you can no longer cast at instant speed. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
it
Taveri
doesn't
hits the
help.
battlefield and they go, I'll respond and blow up Sisay.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that I play the retro frame Teferi, which
Oh, yeah.
looks like garbanzo beans to the new player. It looks
Are you
like
talking about the
nothing like
one?
a planeswalker
Are
should.
you talking about the one that like has the actual text box and not the
Yeah,
planeswalker
it's
text
just a
box?
brick of text. Oh god, I like what they did with the Liliana with Innistrad Remastered. That just looks good.
I like the
The
Lily and I
Planeswalker
like the
symbol's a little
Soren.
strange on it, but
Yeah,
yeah, the
the
sword for
Soren.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
they did a good
Anyways,
job on that.
so kind of what's like the tempo like if I were to pick
Mhm.
up Sisay, what am I looking to do? Am I casting Sisay later? Am I trying to build a board? Am I just trying to resolve and
That's
like what's
that's
kind
a
of the
good
play
question.
patterns?
You know what it really comes down to is mana. Having the
Hmm.
counter spells, cool. Having some nice explosion with maybe like a Diata or a Planeswalker in the hand, sure, it's not bad.
Hmm.
But the most important thing for me is mana. Just you want mana. You will win the game the more mana you have.
Hmm.
Uh, I've jammed my deck with so many dorks. With Faber Elder, Bloom Tender, those are the standard ones that everyone knows about. But I'm also playing Enduring Vitality. I'm replaying Essica. I'm playing anything in the
Mm.
world that says, let's just make mana. I don't care how we're getting it. I'm playing Enduring Vitality, Essica, and Relic of Legends, which are
Holy
all
shit.
they're all essentially the same ability, but they
Yeah.
also have a combo within the deck doing the Irith Marvin lines. It's
Hmm.
important to have those cards. And for any new player that wants to learn the deck,
Hmm.
listen, you can read my primer. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. I know a lot of people go very deep on their primer. I've been
Hmm.
a little busy, if you can't tell, but for the sake of understanding, I keep a very clean and concise primer because you really just need to know how to make mana. If you can open up a hand with 2 lands, a dork, and like another legend, maybe like Lothar or Kinnan, you're
Hmm.
gonna get there. You will get there. It just from there takes time, knowledge, knowing what kind of hands you want to keep, what looks good, what looks a little
Hmm.
fast, maybe what looks a little innocuous. You
Hmm.
might open up a hand with Savala, 2 lands and a dork, and I'll be like, no, I don't want this. I'm sitting against 2 control decks. They're just gonna bot my Selvala, and I'm gonna be blown out anyway. I'd
Hmm.
rather just tutor up the Selvala later. But
Hmm.
again, that's meta dependent, pod dependent, player dependent. Like
Yeah.
as you play the deck more, she will teach you how to pilot her. You know what I mean? She will show you the ropes, the gal. No, that's that. Hold on, that's where you came from. Never mind. She will show you how she will be good to you if you're good to her, and that's a good way to
Hmm.
put it. She will show you
Right.
how
You
to
definitely
pilot
need
the
the
ship.
time in. You have to do your
Yes.
work. Don't just
Um,
leave it up and take it to a tournament. You have to play
if
the
I
deck.
told you, let's say like beginner, intermediate, and like expert decks, I would put Sisay at like just above intermediate, just below expert. Like it's like right there,
I agree.
where she like you said, like you don't want to just wake up and be like, fuck it, I'm playing Sisay today. Which actually, my friend Tyler might see this. He's gonna shit on me for it if I say that. Um, a couple of weeks ago, there was a local tournament at my LGS. It was like a 40, 50 person tournament. And he texts me and he's like, "Hey, I know you're not going to be at this tournament because I didn't plan on it. I had a prior engagement to go to." And I was like, "I know you're gonna be there. I'm gonna cosplay as you." He wore the sweatpants. He wore the pink beanie. He was down to the nine. He's like, "I'm just gonna play your exact deck. I'm gonna submit your exact list. I'm just gonna be you." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, sounds good." The prior engagement got called off. I was able to go to the tournament. So
Uh
tournament day of, I walk in. He's dressed like me. I'm dressed like me, and he's like, "Well, one of us has to change," and we neither of us did. Now, why I bring all this up is on the top four pod, it was me and my buddy Tyler.
No
He
way.
and my buddy Tyler with my exact list.
You had
He
two
picked up the
Sisei
list,
decks?
two Sisay decks with the exact same thing. We were laughing about it the whole time
No
because
way.
we were both just trying to kneecap each other the whole round. Because it was like, I know what you're trying to do, I know what you're trying to do, and it was very fun. A Rock Thras list wound up winning, which shout out to my
Uh
man. Ben, I love my Papa biker man, but
mhm,
like it was just very funny that, like you said, you shouldn't pick up the deck, and I still stand by that. You should get some effing reps in before you just pick up Sisay. But my
mhm,
man Tyler has the strength, man. He walked
mhm,
in, he kicked ass, he went nearly undefeated all day. I think he took exactly one loss, a lot of draws, and then got there, at
mhm,
least top 16. Me and my buddy Charles, he's playing Jorah Weatherlight captain. Shout out to the
mhm,
captains. We both made first and second going in because
mm.
they did like a cut to top 10. So we got to chill for that last round, and we're just talking shit the whole time. And I was like, wouldn't it be so effing funny if Tyler wins his pod? And there's two Sisays with the exact same. And he's like, "Listen, that would be funny. It's not gonna happen. Final pods happen. Tyler wins. Rock Thrust wins." And me and my buddy are just like,
So you had two goals. One goal is to win the tournament. Second goal, not to lose to him
"Not
because
to
he's
lose
gonna
to
talk
him."
so much
That's
shit.
it.
He's
Yeah.
gonna talk so
We
much shit.
we were talking about that post tournament, being like, "I couldn't let you beat me, Papa. Whatever
There's
happened.
no
So either
way.
I win or someone else wins.
I'm
It's not
packing your
happening."
Sisei. Fuck you. I don't need to pay for it.
Oh my god, no, it was but it was just very funny. It was very funny. So to bring it back, no, I don't suggest people just pick this up for fun. I can't say that on a whim, but put your time in with the deck. I want to say, and I suggest this to everyone, there is my list, and there's also the Sisay group list, soup stock, where we had a bunch of the higher up Sisays, a lot of very well piloted pilots. I don't know. Well, what's a good word for it?
Okay. Seasoned
uh,
vets. Okay.
Seasoned, thank you. Some seasoned veterans who know the deck, and we sat down for a whole afternoon and we built a good old fashioned Sissa deck that anyone could pick up. It's simple enough to understand, and you play it.
Sweet. Yeah, send me the
Yeah,
list. I'll put it in the
absolutely.
video. Yeah.
Hilariously, it's only five. I think it's like only 5 cards off for my list, which I
Really?
found very funny. I'm pretty sure here. Let me see if I can find it real
That's
quick. But
hilarious.
yeah, that s- where is it? Is this it? 2025? No, that's the old one. Let's see.
Yeah, but moving
I can't
forward
find it.
from that,
Of
like
course, of
I
course.
agree. I agree with you. But moving forward, Sisei's busted. And if you just play Sisei and you grind Sisei for 10 games, Sisei, like you said, it's gonna come to you. It's gonna you understand some lines. You're gonna really understand the line, understand your windows, and the better competitive player you are, the better Sisei pilot you're gonna be. And
Absolutely,
the deck's
absolutely.
just not forgiving like a Blue Farm. Blue Farm can close its eyes and mulligan. Sisei, you got like you said, 100%. You say
That's
I'm
no,
wrong.
no.
Say
I'm
I'm
not. I'm
wrong.
not. Nope, nope. I won't do it. I
I've
won't do
never
it.
seen a blue farm go to 6 in my life.
That is
Idiot.
absolutely hysterical.
so
Oh my god.
so but yeah, but the deck knowing the lines is the first step. The second step is understanding the meta in your windows. So I see a lot of people know they have a silence or they know they have removal in their hand, but they're gonna go for it anyways. Main phase, it's like hold it up and do it on someone's end step. You know, it's little
Exactly.
stuff
Now,
like that. And if they
it is
stop you,
interesting
they
to
stop you.
notate. Exactly. No, it is interesting to. I just sent the list over to you, but it is interesting to notate that pre-ban we were able to win at instant speed a lot easier because it would just
Right.
be get dockside, get Emiel, go about our business.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays it's a lot harder to do that. We still have the ability because we still play Emiel.
Yeah.
Doing the line for it is not impossible, but it becomes a lot harder. I've been winning a lot more on my turn than someone
Mm-hmm.
else's, especially with the Marvin Ireth combo that I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible to win on someone else's turn with it. Typically, you have to get Tyvar first. That's like the best case
Yeah.
scenario
But you
for it.
see it coming, right?
But you see, and that and that's another thing. Pre-ban, like I said, we could win out of nowhere. We could be having a jolly day with the Birds of Paradise and a couple lands, and all of a sudden, boom, here's a dockside. The game's over.
Yeah. Dockside for
Now,
11.
exactly. But
Bye.
now we have to play a lot more face up. We have to play a lot more
Right.
face
And
up,
that's
and
fine. You
it's
put
not
the
a bad
counter
thing.
spells, you're slower. But what I noticed too with
Exactly.
Sisay pilots is they'll do end step activation, and if you have
Yep.
nothing for it, they're gonna main phase and activate. Two activations for the most part is game over. Maybe
Correct.
maybe
Correct.
not one, but if you give them two,
Exactly.
if you give them two, it's
And this goes out to all the players who are terrified of Sisay still. Listen, you can respect the deck.
mm-hmm,
But for the love of God, do not be terrified about one spin. You can be
mm-hmm,
terrified if the what's going on is reasonably to be worried about. Like if she's got a shit ton of mana, she's untapping with a bunch of bananas, and she has one spin and she can get to fairy. That is so reasonable. Please be
mm-hmm.
worried.
Yeah,
But
but that's when you
but
talk though. Like
but I
Sisay's
had
power
yeah,
6.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's when you got to be like, all right, guys, look up. It's looking bad. I understand that,
Mm.
but God, I had a tournament where, and this was post ban, where I had 5 lands and a Ragavan out, right? And I go for a spin, and the entire table's like, oh my God, oh shit, he's going for a spin, he's got a Rag. I'm like, I'm probably getting like Lotho or like Cauldron, and they're like, oh shit, Lotho, and I'm like,
Lotho? Fucking Lotho?
we're worried about, we're worried about. Okay, and they blew me out, and I was like, all right, cool. And then the Crick player won, and I was just like, cool. Thank God everyone stopped my my activation on 2.
Well, what I
Yeah,
do, what I do is like I'll talk to like Magna pilots, Canon pilots, Sisay pilots.
sure, for
Is
sure.
I talk to them. Hey, are you going for the win right here? And if they're weird, if they go, I don't know.
Who's to say? Yeah, no,
Maybe.
I know exactly.
Okay, bitch. Okay, you just told me
you
you're not
fuck 'em
telling
up.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
But if they're like,
exactly,
no, I'm getting a Lotho. Don't worry about it.
exactly.
Let's stop that guy first. Okay, respectfully
Yep,
sounds good. But if they
yep.
go, I'm not sure what I'm gonna tutor for. Shut the fuck
It
up. Yeah.
unfortunately that was a thing working against me in that conversation because I was like, guys, look, I'll get whatever the hell you want me to.
Mhm.
I don't need to get Lotho necessarily. I was just saying that just to be, and they were like, yeah, we can't really trust you. You're the top Sisay, and I'm like, they're respecting the crown, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I was just
Part of
like,
you's like
please,
appreciate it.
like
Other
thank
part of you's
you,
like
but also like, come on, it's just a Lotho.
it's like a backhanded compliment. My
It
mom,
is,
I
it
see my mom
is.
for Christmas. Oh, you look great. You put on a lot of pounds. What? Okay,
Oh.
thanks, mommy. Love you. Like,
All
what
right,
kind
now
of
where's the
back?
turkey?
Yeah, you're right. I love stuffing and peanut butter balls.
Peanut butter, bro. Oh, come on, brother.
Oh, that's my Christmas
Now I need to
present.
get dessert after this.
But all right, we're talking a lot about it. Let's go ahead and
Naturally.
let's look
So,
at this baby girl real quick.
absolutely. So we'll go through. We got the planeswalkers. We got the creatures. I am
Mhm.
playing a Green Sun Zenith for some ungodly reason.
Yeah.
I won't answer that. I
Can you
won't
see my
elaborate.
screen?
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
I will elaborate on Green Sun Zenith. I'm just talking shit. God. So yeah. Let's break it down from the top.
Dispel. All right,
Oh
let's.
no! Yeah, actually, no, wait. Take a look through it first. If this is the first time, for the sake of like a nice fresh view, take a look. Have some
Yeah.
questions for me. Feel free to scream at me. I'm into it.
I mean, I looked at it earlier. Yeah, where's you don't have oh there it is, sick art.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I see. You have it in ABC order. I have it in CMC order. You're a monster.
Yeah, you're so right. I don't know why I did that. Ignore this, guys. Don't look at me. No, when people have it text and I'm like, who hurt you, Hitler?
Oh God.
Yeah.
I
All right.
want to see the pretty pictures, please.
So
Yeah, hit it up.
This is Sisay. We'll read her in a second, but pretty much the Planeswalker line, this wins you the game, and then the whole deck is pretty much about untapping, like you said. You have the Faber Elder, you have the
No.
Azikas, Vitality, Bloom Tenders, and then pretty much you do like untap. What's Mount Doom? Are you guys still on Mount Doom? Yeah,
Yes, yes. So
that's like the
that's one of
easiest
the other
untap
combos.
line. Yep,
Absolutely, yeah. Because once you get infinite mana, infinite untaps, you just start abusing the shit out of Mount Doom.
and it's
That's why I also
legendary.
play exactly. And that's why I also play Saheeli Rai because God
Mm-hmm.
forbid Mount Doom is gone or Saheeli Rai is gone. It's good to have two things to like flicker and
Deal one
abuse
damage.
and
Yep.
exactly, that's all it needs to do. Now, mind you, she also doubles as a clone and a haste giver.
Yeah.
I've used her for everything.
Yep.
She's the most versatile
Yeah.
planeswalker I think we
Look
play
at this
past
fucking
Tyvar.
text.
I do. It's terrible. I'm so sorry.
That's so
I'm sorry,
bad.
everybody. Please.
That's so funny. All right, let's read Baby Girl. So, I mean, you can probably look over her shoulder, but
She's still
Sisay,
here.
yeah.
I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
So she's a famous commander, right? Like everyone knows who Sisay is. She's in the lore. She's a huge
Yep.
character. Everyone loves her. So pretty much 3 mana 2/2. She gets +1/1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control. That's irrelevant. That's relevant. Sorry.
It's very relevant because a lot of people don't know the other. They're just like, oh, she comes out as a 3/3. I'm like,
That's
no,
very
no, no.
relevant. Yeah.
Other.
What
Other,
I
please.
don't like is to say pilots when they don't put like a counter on her to let us know, and they'll sneakily do it. So I'll ask, what is her power? Oh, she's a
Oh, that's
4.
me. That's
Like,
me. Because I put 1/1
bitch.
counters on her sometimes, so I don't want to represent her with
Right.
anything permanent. It
Yeah.
unfortunately it makes sense, but I do know where you're coming from. It's a little
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Well,
It's a
I
little
mean, for
obnoxious.
me, I could just be like, hey, right? Like you could
Yeah, of
talk.
course. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to be. I have to be honest about it. Of
Yeah.
course.
And then the big let's blow her up a little bit. The big ability is Wooburg, search your library for a
Perfect.
legendary permanent card, mana value less than her power. So if you
Less
guys
than her power.
so you
Please,
guys
Christ, people.
why she's so strong, in my opinion, is she takes cards like Ragavan and Lotho and Kennen,
Nope.
all the little legendary guys in Irith, Kutzel, and they just ended up. What is it when she's power 5 or 6? That's when you have to worry
I would say power 4. I would
for.
say power 4
Yeah.
because when we were able to get Amanata, Tyvar, Teferi for that matter, when we can start getting those 3 or those 3 or more dudes, that's about when things are in the danger mode.
Yeah. Let's go.
That's when people should be brick
Yeah.
shitting, as they
Let's go.
say.
Let's go ahead before I break down your list because I do
Sure,
see some spicy stuff that I like.
of
Let's
course.
go ahead. I wanna talk about her Planeswalker line, and then I want to talk about her Untap line if no one's ever heard it or seen it.
For sure, for sure. I have my primer pulled up just in case, so I can be a little more eloquent or
Okay.
something. So the number one thing is what I like to call the Oath of Bolas combo,
Mm-hmm.
where oh perfect, you brought it on the screen,
Yeah.
where the most important thing is to get out with either let's say Savala, Bloom Tender, Faber Elder, Chromatic Orrery notably. You want to have a Wooburg producing thing to
Mm-hmm.
abuse. This is the easiest way to do it. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to put it in base terms for people.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point is to go up the chain of legendaries and eventually get your way to having infinite. So let's say you have a Wooburg Bloom Tender, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can produce all 5 colors. You might go the first thing to tutor would be say Derevi, right? You'll get Derevi, it untaps Bloom Tender, you go back in.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you might want to get is Amanatau. That's step one of the combo. You flicker Derevi, you untap the Bloom Tender, you go back in. The next thing you want to get, because depending on your power, you should be able to get either at this point, is either Nico Bolas or Oath of the Fairy. For the sake of Oath of the Fairy, it just means you can activate Amanatau again. Um, I'll wait a sec for you to blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the sake of Nico Bolas, it's the same thing. It's just activating Amanatau again.
Yep.
Now, the combination of these guys means that you get to have 2 activations of each of, or 1 activation of each of the planeswalkers
Bolus
before they
and
need to
all that
reset
stuff.
the other one.
Correct.
So you could go Amanatau, Flicker Derevi, Amanatau, Flicker Derevi, and then Nico Bolas, Flicker Derevi, Nico Bolas, Flicker Amanatau, and then you start bouncing off in between when
Jesus.
you have all 3 of this. Now this gives you infinite planeswalker activations, it gives you pretty much infinite mana, it gives you anything you could really need to end the game.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you can either grab Mount Doom, which was the young Ping land,
Mm-hmm.
or Saheeli Rai, so you can +1 and burn down the table. I'll
Yeah,
give you a
that's
hot sec to
probably
pull
that's
it up.
probably the easiest line,
That
right?
is the bread and butter. That is my man Malcolm, my man Vice. He, as far as I'm aware, he invented that combo. I'm gonna always give it to him. He
Mm-hmm.
showed that shit to me, and I thought that was the hottest stuff ever.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bread and butter number one, easiest to understand combo that Sisay has to offer.
Mm-hmm. That's
Um,
why you play Sisay.
and that's why I play Sisay because I
Mm-hmm.
love janky legends. I remember when I top forward at SEG Baltimore in 2023. I in my top 16 game I blew out a Rogsai player, and the way I did it was I had a Salvala, big enough Salvala. Went about the business about what I just explained with the Sisay tutor chains, and he like slammed his deck on the table. Was like, I can't believe I just lost a 5-color bulk rares, and I'm like, yeah, correct. That is a very good. That is a very hilarious way, but accurate. Minus the dual lands, dude. The deck is stupid cheap. I like
Sky
again. Tahili
Turtle.
Rai is
Let's go.
$1. Amanatau is 7. Like the whole deck is cheap as hell. Now,
Yeah.
so that's the number
Urtai.
one combo. That's easy enough to understand. The next one
Bowmaster.
is what I call the Flash Unicorn, which is step two. This is a way to go infinite instant speed. It is a potential. It's not something you can necessarily do all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
Emil is the next outlet for infinite mana.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put it in simplest terms. We have a Bloom Tender that can tap for Wooburg.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have Emil out and Derevi. And it's very simple. I know all you homies know this. You tutor out Derevi. Derevi untaps Bloom Tender.
Mm-hmm.
You go get Emil. You go back in and you start flickering the shit out of that Derevi and you start making infinite mana. Now from here you have infinite untaps, infinite mana. Again, you could go off the Planeswalker chain, or you could just jump straight to the Mount Doom, and with
Mm-hmm.
Derevi untapping, just untap the Mount Doom by itself and start pinging down the table.
Mm.
It's menacingly until my man, and he's back. I definitely
Yay!
wasn't talking to your people. I definitely wasn't talking shit. You'll definitely see that post edit, I'm
What
sure.
happened? I'm just
I
scrolling. It went boo, and I was
did
like,
I
"Oh no!"
did I lose you or did you lose me?
No, it was me. My
Oh,
my
okay.
my screen my screen froze.
Yep. Oh my
Am
god.
I still sharing or no?
No, you're not sharing your screen anymore.
Oh, okay. I'm not worried about it. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
that's all right. So yeah, Flesh Unicorn, you get Derevi, you get Emil, and like anything that's big enough to untap, make enough mana, and you go about your business.
Mm.
Notably, Mount Doom is probably the best way to go about this, but you can also do Orcish Bowmasters. It happens to be one of the reasons why I play that card.
I was gonna ask you. I see 3 or 4 spicy cards I don't normally see in the Sisay list, and the
Oh, of
Orcish
course,
is
and
one
we'll
of
get
them.
into that. We'll get into that. Let me give you the last combo piece.
Okay.
Oh, real quick, with Emil, this is all for the new homies. There's also a sub non-deterministic win called the Urtai Lock, which is, let's say you don't have Mount Doom, let's say you don't have Saheeli, you don't have any way to end the game at instant speed. Let's say you don't have OBM. What you can do is call the Urtai Lock, where Urtai, he counters everything. Short of a trick bind, you can stifle every channel, you can stifle every activation, every ETB,
Mm.
and it counters anything people try to
But
play.
they draw though,
So who cares? They can draw their whole deck. I'm gonna sit there and counter anything they put in their hand.
because you
The
have
whole
infinite
point is
flickers, right?
exactly
Infinite mana, a meal with the Urtai.
correct,
Gotcha.
correct, and they're snuffed.
I do have a
Um,
question for Urtai while you're talking
yeah, of
about it.
course.
I
No,
heard
hit it up.
there's a line with Urtai. I don't remember quite the line, but I remember he was trying to explain
Oh,
to me
the
where,
Forbidden Orchard shit.
well, no, he was like,
Oh,
to draw his deck, like he couldn't get a certain card, so to draw his deck, he had infinite Urtais, and he would infinitely destroy like another creature because he kept,
oh yeah, and you would stifle your
and
own
he
trigger and draw a
and
card.
he would
Stifle your
just
own
keep
trigger, draw a
drawing,
card. Yeah.
drawing, and drawing. There's a way
Yep.
to like
And you
low
play like
priority. Yeah,
yeah, and then you just play like Thoracle or something. But I don't
yeah,
play Thoracle. I think Thoracle is a great combo for CEDH, but I don't think it's a good Sisay specific combo. There
yeah.
are variants of Sisay that play it like Pod. Like I think Pod should play like the Pod variant should play Thoracle. There
Mm.
is like a Clam variant that I think Clam's dead as far as I'm aware.
Clam
But
Chowder
like they
was really good though.
it was
I
really
think the
good.
band hit
It was
that
really good
deck
pre-ban.
pretty good. Yeah.
It was very good, but yeah, they needed Dockside more than we did, which is
Mm-hmm.
hilarious to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yes, absolutely. And then the third combo, which is a little new, it's a little proprietary to Tolaria East, is what I like to call Marvin the Healing Dork. So thanks to Ducksworn, We got Enduring Vitality, which is one of the best cards. I am stocking up on so many of them. Please,
And
people,
see,
keep picking them up for me. Don't no. But also, there is Marvin. Now, Marvin says that he has all the activated abilities of creatures that you have, right? That
mm,
aren't him.
mm-hmm.
And he, with one of the Lord of the Rings legendaries called Ireth, or Ureth. Sorry, I always forget how to do that.
Irith? Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
no, it's
Lorith?
Ureth. It's
Urith?
Ureth.
Ur-
So with the combination of those two, they can untap each other indefinitely because he has her abilities, he has her abilities, and they can just diddle all day
okay.
long. But they
Okay.
don't have anything to do with that. So what you have to do to put in there is say Essica, right? Let's put a legendary dork in there just for this
Azika.
again,
Yeah.
right? Essentially for the sake of simplicity. So with Marvin, Essica, and Ireth, you tap Marvin for a mana, you tap Essica for a mana, you tap Ireth to untap both of them, you tap Essica for a mana, you tap Marvin to untap Essica and Ireth, and now you have infinite mana. From there, this isn't a necessarily win con, it is just a way to make infinite mana. With this, you go through your chain, you can go get Emil Derevi, you can go get the Planeswalker combo, you can go either way. This is just a nice, clean way to play some good legendaries that are already strong in the deck
Mm-hmm.
that culminate into a getting you to a win con.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we did talk about this pre-show that there is a way to win with this where you get Sakashima in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with Sakashima coming in, you copy Ireth, so now you can use Ireth's first ability. Instead of it untapping two creatures, you untap one permanent, and you have Sakashima untap a land. Let's call it Mount Doom for the sake of. You already have infinite mana because of everything else, and you just start untapping everybody, untap the land, untap everybody,
Mm.
untap the land,
Does
and
that go around One Ring protection?
it does not. Hilariously, One Ring Protection is one of the few things that we have a problem with, but I'll be really honest with you, I've never had an issue with people
Unless it's
being
not
like,
time and
"Ah,
round, right? Because you'll just pass
exactly,
with
and
infinite mana.
pass with infinite mana, and I can still just do it on
Respond to
top of your turn.
anything you're doing. Yeah.
You took a breath, you're done.
Yeah. Upkeep, I'll respond. Oh, you have something? I'll
Exactly.
respond to that. Yeah.
I'll respond to that as well. Exactly. Um. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's good. That's good. But yeah, I just wanted to at least get the combos out of the way. Little things. Again, uh, any questions, people feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy.
I got
So yeah, talk to me about my list. You're yelling at me now. You're making fun of me. You're
I got
silently
a
judging me like a
I
mom
got
at
a
Christmas.
I just got a couple questions because I've never played the list, and
Of course, hit
and
it
I'll
up.
I'll just put the cards up here since my computer is being crazy. I can't share my
Yeah, you're all
screen.
right.
But
I get it.
can you kind of explain? You were saying earlier the Cultist Absolute. There's no lines in it anymore. It's just a really good card.
So here's the thing. The whole thing with Cultist of the Absolute is that it is just the cheapest legend. It's one mana that gives Sisay 4 power, right? So it puts her to 6. That's the danger zone. She can get anything she wants in the whole deck. Cultist of the Absolute is just one of the best cards that Sisay ever got, at least from the new stuff. I stand by that. Now, chromatic. Now, typically because she's big enough, people will get Diada next, right? And then you can get Orrery, and then because you have Orrery, you can go off the Planeswalker line.
Mm,
I never liked calling it a combo because the three cards don't win you the game.
mm.
It's like the Marvin Irith line where it just gets you a lot of mana. It can progress you into the next thing. It's just strong cards working together. It's good synergy. It's not a
Well,
combo. You know what I
Sisay is
mean?
so good though. You don't need. You just need infinite mana.
Exactly.
You don't need
Exactly.
it to win. Sisay will
No.
find you the win. That's why she's so
Exactly.
broken.
And like for the sake of Diada versus Orrery, Orrery just works by itself. Like I said it earlier, it is a 7 mana dockside. That thing, the second you get it out, you're going up your Planeswalker lines. You do not have to worry. You're going about your business. You're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Diada is a little trickier because she does have a percent chance to mill the wrong things. Like if you mill your Lotho, who gives a
Mm.
shit? You don't need that. If you mill your Oath of Teferi, that's gonna make things a little dicey. It's gonna make things a
Ah.
little dicey because you're
Okay.
gonna put that in your hand. You're not milling that. That's why in my head she's more of like a good like stopgap. She's a good step to get where you need to go. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like using her as the main way to go about your business, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. If you have Diada up and I think it's 3 extra mana,
Mm-hmm.
you can still go about your Planeswalker line because you Diada. activate Sisay, or mill. Hopefully you don't mill anything important. Get Nico Bolas. Do it again. Get Amanatau. Get Oath to Fairy. But the
Mhm.
whole time you just have to hope you don't mill the right thing or wrong things.
Okay, speaking of mill and stuff like that, I had a
Sure.
buddy of mine. He stopped playing the deck because he was like, I'm not gonna not play Ristic Study and Mr. Gamora, but sometimes I draw the fucking Planeswalker line and I want to eat my magic cards.
It does happen. It does
You
happen.
just
And
top deck out Manatu and you're just like, hey.
what does this stupid legendary do? Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Unfortunately, it does happen. I've played around playing Scroll Rack before just to make sure I brainstorm as well, just to put things back in the deck. It happens, but I've never had that like end my day.
It's
You know
never,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like sure, it trips you up, dude. It's dude. Oh, this is for also any new players. This is my personal omen. If you open any hand with Nico Bolas in your hand, shuffle it away.
Yeah.
I do not care. I do not care how good the other
And
6 cards are.
Amanatu, right?
No, no, I actually don't mind opening with
Because she
Amanatau
flickers. Yeah.
because she flickers. Same thing with Oath to Fairy. Sometimes getting that out early isn't the worst. Listen, I don't want to keep a hand with Oath to Fairy if I don't have to. But if the other 6 cards are sick, I'm gonna do it.
Hmm.
But Nico Bolas specifically, it is the most dead card out of that combo, and for me, it's an
Yeah.
omen. It's like Nico's here already. You're supposed to be at the end game, Papa. I don't want to see
Yeah.
you for a little while.
Yeah. You can't play him for value because now you're the threat and they're going to kill it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And God forbid you play too early, people are just gonna fucking kill it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
shit, my planeswalkers. Oh my god. And I know you made mention of before. That's why I play cards like Colossal Sky Turtle.
Love that
Uh,
card. Oh.
it's typically a bounce spell because Oppo is the only thing I normally have to worry about.
Mm.
But it's also just good as a recursion piece.
I
I've had it
love
recur
that
almost
card.
everything in the deck before. It's a great card. It's just good. It's just good.
I love that. Oh, you're just playing a bunch of bad cards. Sky Turtle's one of the best cards in that deck. I don't know what you're talking about.
Have
Like
to agree.
what?
Have to agree. It's one of the, and it's a channel card. Channel cards are near impossible to
Yeah.
interact with. What
That's
I'm trying all of them.
I feel like that's going to be the 2025 meta is the activated commanders I think are going to take over. The Magdas, the
Yeah.
Sisays, the Cannons, the Thrasios. I
Yeah,
just feel
yeah.
like you
TNT can't
you
like they're
can't
already
stop
tops.
it.
They're already
Yeah.
tops.
Yeah. I
It's
just feel
crazy.
I just feel like Sisay, Magda, Cannon, you have TNT and then TNK obviously, but I just feel like those
Of course,
commanders
TNK
that
and TNT are still titans of the format. It's just they can't end the game as easily as they used to.
Mhm.
Losing Dockside really hurt TNK. Really hurt Roxai.
Yeah.
They're good decks still. They're still you should still respect the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But like again, much like Clam got hit, like they needed Dockside just as badly as we did.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And then just a funny thing, I was big on
No,
a
please.
I was big on Atali pre-ban. That was one of my
Oh,
favorite decks, bro. I played against my brother.
oh, I hate Atali. I hate
I
Atali
have
so much.
that deck was so bad, but then when it was good, it was so good.
It was oh my god.
One time I got to tell you, I had 2 Atali triggers, right? I had a roaming throne, 2 Atali
Oh,
triggers.
oh.
I
Ugh,
hit like
yeah.
Soul Ring crap from the Sisay. I got a Sky Turtle, and I was like, "Fuck! All right, I'll cast the Sky Turtle." Okay, next
Fuck it, 6/5.
next trigger, I get like a Simian Spear Guide, an Elvish Spear Guide, and I get a fucking Nicol Bolas. And I was like, I just get the worst card. And he was like, I scoop. I can't win now. I'm out.
No.
But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna cast it. I'm not gonna throw that shit, in a
Yeah,
deck in his
fuck
deck.
it.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, that would be one of those moments where I would say keep it exiled, because I have ways to bounce shit back. I would absolutely just say let Itali eat the Nico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I got you for sure.
But hey, for the sake of flavor, fuck yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Before I let you go, I was gonna do some mulligans, but it's fine. My computer's freaking out. There was a couple other stuff
please. Oh
I
yeah,
noticed.
you had some more questions with some slots. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it, please.
Just the difference of like what I've seen in other Sisay lists. Is LQR and like Strict Serenade and Dispel, is that just your flavor or is that like a Sisay staple right now?
So LQR, I used to shit on a lot pre-ban because Dockside was our number one. The Dorks kind of became secondary.
Mhm.
Now the Dorks are number one, and I think LQR is some of the best protection you can play. I'm not usually a fan of solo protection, but the fact that it's also a kill spell, it's also an untapper, it's also a hexproofer. The card is too versatile to pass up on.
And I think the untap part, right?
The untap part's the number one best part about it, for sure.
And split second.
For Strict Serenade, I scream at every Sisay player, you need to play Strict Serenade.
Why?
Why? It hits the only 2 things we care about. Curse Totem Oppo.
Okay.
That's it. That's all it needs to hit. At worst, it's hitting Thorkels and Tivits and anything else you have a problem with it. At best, it's hitting the
Atraxas.
cursed. Exactly. At best, it's hitting the only two things we give a flying about.
Okay.
As
I'll
far
give
as
you that.
Dispel goes, that's probably just me. Like I said, I wanted to reinforce the deck with as many counter spells as I could, and
Yeah.
Dispel was the most like uh cheapest,
Hmm.
good, solid. I've been debating on bouncing that between like that and like another like removal spell, like probably like Into the Flood Maw or something,
Hmm.
because
That card's so fucking good
it's
too.
so good.
Because you can give
It's, you
someone
know
else
what?
a
I got
tap
a tournament
fish.
Saturday. I'm gonna put Into the Flood Maw in just for you,
That
just
card.
for the meme.
I've been cutting Cyrith just because of that card. That card is that busted. Like if your deck
Yeah.
isn't like mana, if you don't have a lot of mana, like Flood Maw is a good replacement.
And maybe I should be back on Psychrift too. That's another question. Is like, I don't have a board wipe besides Mount Doom. I've had
It,
to pop Mount Doom before to board wipe it. Sometimes you got to do it. But
ooh, that's
oh,
spicy.
dude, I've had to pop Mount Doom six times in my entire like lifespan of that card existing, and I've won
Fuck
every
yeah.
time that I've done it.
Fuck yeah. That's
Um,
awesome.
as
Yeah,
far
no,
as
a
other
lot of
spicy
Sisay
things,
pilots, they're not on Forza well either. You're like heavy control right now. I like
I
it.
think that's the kind of place we have to be. I think
Soul
we have to.
partition. You don't see that.
Soul Partition is my flavor for sure.
Yeah, I like it.
Pre-ban, it was a way to flicker Dockside that it was just a good
Hmm.
way to protect your stuff as well.
Hmm.
Even post-ban, dude, it's just a good removal spell. It hits anything. It hits
Hmm.
fucking everything. Like short of literally just lands, it hits everything. And people are like, "Oh, well, it only makes them cost 2." That's fine. Now their opposition agent costs 5. Now their curse totem costs 4. That's a whole
Hmm.
person's turn sometimes. And
Hmm.
again, it's not blue, so like Reb can't hit it. And if it gets deflecting swatted to one of my things, it's like, okay, I'll just replay it.
Fine.
It's not the worst thing. It's
Yeah.
not the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. No, I like it. That's spicy. If I were to
Uh,
pick up to say, this would probably be the list for sure.
and that's what I suggest to people. If you want to get into the deck, I suggest 20 games, either with my deck or the soup stock list that I gave you. Give it
Hmm.
20 games. Learn your lines. Get the understandings. Get the weight under your belt, and then start being like, should we do that? And I'll say, come to the Sisay Discord. We have
Yeah.
one of the most active Discords. We love answering questions. We love talking over each other to answer the question with the same thing.
Yeah.
We're a very
You're
good
in,
community who just wants
mhm.
to make sure any new player knows and understands what they're
You're
doing.
on Smothering Tithe. Like that's
Oh,
spicy.
oh, dude, no, Smothering Tithe. I don't care what you guys say. I don't. There's Malcolm. This shout out to you, buddy. I don't care if your Smothering Tithe gets counted every time. That means it's a good card. I love you, buddy. Smothering Tithe is one of the best effing cards. If that card resolves, the game is probably gonna win.
100%.
We're probably gonna win that game. Every time that card is
Every
resolved for
time.
me, it
I put
pretty
that
much
card in
guarantees the game.
every single white deck. I don't care
Yeah,
what my white deck's doing.
correct.
I'm on Najila right now and I have Smothering Tithe and Najila and they're like, why are you
Yeah,
playing a 4-mana enchantment? Cause if one rotation I'm winning the game. What are you
it's one.
talking
It's
about?
it's pretty much one
And this
activation of Nagila. That's phenomenal.
yeah, in a Ristic Study meta, like
Oh yeah, especially.
with Sisay with Sisay, you could be like, oh darn, I won't pay for Ristic, or you can pay for Smothering Tithe. I'm gonna activate Sisay. Thank you for being greedy. Like, like,
Exactly. And
yeah.
also the Wondering, like the Ristic Studies, the Mystic Moors, the Wonderings, like there's just so much draw. There's no reason to not play Smothering Tithe. You know how
Mhm.
many I've gotten to turn 1 Smothering Tithe before, and the
Oof.
table just be like,
Well,
we can just scoop up now if you'd like.
yeah, I'm out. I'm cooked. You can't pay for
um,
it.